How confident am I? I'm going like this right now.
You're like wavering.
But that's good. That's good.
Hi, want to do an interview? Welcome. Thank you. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good.
What's your name?
Reed.
Reed.
Mm-hmm.
My name's Ange.
Ange?
Mm-hmm.
How do you spell that?
A-N-G.
A-N-G, gotcha. Cool. Want to do headphones? It's a little easier to hear around here. Check, hello.
Ooh, very nice.
So, yeah, Ange.
Yes.
Well, yeah, have you seen my setup here before? Is it the first time?
No, this is my first time.
Cool.
Should I take my laptop?
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah.
How's your classes been going today?
Pretty good. Just came out of a classics Greek class.
Greek classics
Classics,
Nice.
yep.
Nice. Sweet.
How about you?
I'm not a student here. Just I go to various places around LA to practice my hobby, where I try to talk with people with this way of having conversations, the Socratic method style, street epistemology. And I like to hear people out, let them pick a topic, and I ask them questions to help them think through it, to help me learn, and to help us both collaborate on how we could figure out whatever we're talking about is true or not. Yeah. Yes, those are my goals. Any questions about it? Or?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, thanks. Do you mind if I record and live stream? Is that cool? Thanks. All righty, cool. And let me know if you don't want it to go anywhere, or if I want to not upload it or something.
Okay.
So yeah, did you see a few of the topics over there?
Yeah, I did. Astrology caught my eye.
Astrology. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What is astrology in your mind?
Well, I mean, there's obviously this big even on TikTok and stuff, there's just this trend of really consumable astrology. Consumable astrology, where it's really easy and to kind of be told, what to expect of your day, of your month, of your year. It's kind of silly to me.
Okay.
But it's very popular, I think. Yeah.
What's the difference between consumable astrology and the real thing?
Well, I believe there is some kind of force or some energy that at the time that you were born, you know what I mean? That moment that you manifested into life, there was something that kind of aligned in the universe that made you come into life. But is it so easy to say then okay, because this planet was here, then, or because you were born in January, then you're going to be selfish, or you know what I mean? Those personality traits that are divide the entire human population into 12 groups of personality traits. Consumable astrology, I think is popular because some people like to get told what to do, or get told what they are sometimes.
Yeah, I think astrology is a kind of answer to the question, what makes us who we are? Is that fair?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, let's try to focus on that broad question.
Yeah.
And astrology is one maybe out of many potential answers to that question. And try to compare the answers to see which is actually the one we should go with. The most reasonable answer.
Yeah.
What are some other potential answers to that question? What makes us who we are?
What makes us who we are? Well, some people think it's other people. Some people think it's God. Some people think it's this power of nature that's sometimes personified as God.
Nature?
Mm-hmm.
Nature. Those are good ones.
What do you think?
What do you mean by any other people, you said? What do you mean by that? Like socialization?
Yeah, I mean, like just if you think about like, okay, how does your personality form? Some people think like, okay, there's your genetics, which are from your parents, and then there's the socialization aspect of like, you know, the nature and nurture. They're both kind of
nurture. Yeah. Is culture another good word for that?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, culture.
Alrighty. Let's think about these any other potential answers to have on the board to think about, or does this cover the main answers people give?
I think this is a pretty good list.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
If we had to rank this between 0 to 10, where like 10 is the most reasonable, 0 is
least reasonable.
Reasonable, completely false. What numbers would we give each of these?
Well, this is completely my personal opinion now, I guess.
Yeah, we're just guessing at this point.
Okay. I think 10 most reasonable is nature.
Okay.
Astrology, because, well, like we talked before about, you know, like the kind of like the...
Yeah, you said force and energy, something in the moment that manifested into your life. That thing.
So that's there, but then there's like the astrology, like...
if that's what you mean by astrology.
Yeah.
That force.
Yeah. Like the study of stars and the energy of that versus the categorization of like and like labeling of all those kind of events. So in my like kind of definition, like astrology is kind of tied in with nature.
Astrology is a natural hypothesis? Okay. So it kind of goes in with it?
Yeah.
All right. I guess so. Is culture a natural hypothesis as well?
It kind of seems like the more we get into it, the more all of them kind of start merging into each other.
Yeah. Maybe between astrology and culture, both are natural. Is that fair to say? Culture is natural?
$1 sticker!
If nature is 10, these are more specific hypotheses within nature, which is, how would you rate culture versus astrology?
I think culture is way stronger than astrology.
Okay.
Yeah, just because like it's way more kind of potent in our minds when we interact with other people. How that interaction changes the next interaction is much more stronger and like more
Seconds for $1. Support Community Health Collective.
kind of like easy to grasp and easy to act on.
Yeah. Can I add another hypothesis? Biology? Is that fair?
For sure.
That's another kind of natural hypothesis.
Yeah.
This is the nature versus nurture when we mean that.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Okay. Does culture answer all the questions for what makes us who we are?
Definitely not.
So it's not a 10.
Stickers for $1.
Where would it be on the scale?
$1
So maybe
sticker.
let's say 7.
A 7?
Yeah.
Okay. Does astrology answer all the questions about who we are?
Let's say a 5 for that one.
A 5?
Yeah.
If I can find it. Where does biology go?
6.
It's more? Okay. Okay. There's a 9 upside down. Okay. So if we know a lot about the culture and the astrology and the biology, we would know what makes us who we are. These are all the things that help us answer that question. Okay. How does astrology help us make us understand who we are?
It's through understanding. I think it's a lot about like letting go of your ego, because that's often more polluting and like more confusing the mind in what and who you are, and kind of like what you are here for, and kind of that kind of thing.
What you're here for, your purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. That might relate to God. What's the rating you would give for that?
The rating?
Yeah. Some people might say, I'm not going to give my opinion unless you ask.
Some people might say. Some people, I would say, well, I mean, God is different things, though. You know, God can be love.
Yeah. How good is God as an answer to what makes us who we are on that scale?
4.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So now, let's go back to astrology and focus on that as that one piece of that answer.
Yeah.
How good of an answer is astrology to this question? Right now it's a 5. Yeah, why? What's your confidence that is the correct number? If all the way to the right is absolutely yes, 5 is the correct number, or I'm not sure, or absolutely no, completely false, it should be a completely different number. Where is your current confidence about that on your little confidence scale thing there?
Well, there is kind of like a definitive aspect to it in that like the stars are going to do what they do no matter what we describe them what they're doing as.
The stars are going to do what they're going to do?
Yeah, the stars are going to do what they're going to do. Okay. No matter what we say like that they're doing or how they're affecting us or how we act based on how they act. So there is that. But there's just like such an artificial aspect of astrology that makes like it even confusing to just even like, you know, base an answer off of.
An artificial aspect?
Yeah, just yeah, like I mean, if we're saying that, like, you know, okay, so because Jupiter is in whatever house or something like that, you know, how could we ever know is through like trial and error or experiments or kind of like repeated experience, right? And we don't really have that, so it's just like. But if you're looking at like the kind of like just the phenomenon without like the kind of like describing it or like easily consuming it, then you can kind of start. I would think of it as more like, okay, where am I in respect to all these planets in this star stuff? And what does that mean that I act in certain ways because of when I was born in like the history of humans? And yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so we're trying to build this model of what makes us who we are.
Yeah.
And one answer astrology gives is because of the relationship I'm hearing between where the stars were, the planets potentially, and where we're born and when we're born. This model predicts how we're going to be based on all that input and output. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think also, I think back to like kind of this like Buddhist idea of like the circulating life forms.
Circulating life forms?
Yeah, just this energy that circulates around all of us and kind of like manifests itself in different forms. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about when I think of like our placement in the stars and the energy. And
okay.
Yeah.
That sounds more like a supernatural hypothesis.
A supernatural hypothesis or a natural hypothesis.
Yeah. Is that energy of the Buddhist, of the swimming, of this, what do you call it? Energy or souls?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a natural hypothesis or a supernatural hypothesis? Or is that a fair category difference? Or an unfair one?
I mean, if you ask me, then it's the way that things are, so that's just going to be like a natural hypothesis.
Okay.
But
we can go with that. Okay.
Yeah.
So astrology is part of that Buddhist potentially model of how there's. Is it like a reincarnation thing? Do all humans have souls? Or is it all of life, or is it more than life that has an energy or a soul? What is the difference between energy and soul?
Yeah, I mean, like there's this idea of like everything being on the palm of the Buddha, so everything is kind of like part of one. And so if you think about it that way, like if you are part of one, then everything around you must kind of affect you in some way, or you are involved with everything around you. Mm-hmm. So if you born in a certain time or a certain time, then the way that you are interacting with the material around you is kind of descriptive of your unique existence. Like in this time, I'm living as a human being because I was born in this way. But that is different from this like just that artificial aspect that we talked about. So I think, I mean, it's just like, I just think about, I wonder how these forces affect me rather than just being told what they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, astrology claims there are forces that affect people when they're born. Mm-hmm. Is that true?
I think that there is like a certain like kind of path that you could be on because of where you started. But I don't think it's as kind of like clear paths. Like it's not like there's a fork in the road and there's like a sign saying go this way, go that way. It's more like you're on the path and you might find certain things along the way because of where you started.
Okay.
Yeah.
The signs are a kind of path. Is that fair? Is that fair to say? Mm-hmm. They're not strict paths. Mm-hmm. They're just a set of things that are more likely to happen to you in your life? Is that like what's a good example of someone following the path of what a sign says in life?
Following what a sign says in life.
Is it more prescriptive? Like because this is your sign, you should do this, or is it because this is your sign, it's describing what's going to happen regardless of what you want to do?
Sign as an astrological sign?
Yeah, the
okay.
astrological sign.
Astrological sign. No, I don't believe that. No.
Like, is it a recommendation for what to do, or is it a prediction of what's going to happen?
$1 stickers.
Is it a recommendation or a prediction? I guess it would be more of a prediction because it's like, okay, here's what's set out for you. Yeah.
Well, then that's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to know what's going to happen in my life.
Right.
I would love to have that knowledge.
Yeah.
And if astrology is claiming it has that knowledge for me and like everybody, I'd love to know more about that. How does that work?
$1 stickers. Support CHC.
I think it's a lot to do with intuition. This like feeling, the gut feeling that you get when you feel that something is right or wrong. I think that's what kind of like guides the path that you should go on.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think this intuition feeling is like a part of this universal like drive or universal like pull toward a certain thing.
So like our intuitions for what we should do or not do, this is evidence of astrology's prediction for our life. If we have a positive intuition that, yeah, this is what I should be doing, that is evident, and it aligns with what astrology says is going to happen in our life, that is evidence for astrology?
No, it's still, I'm still like, so if you go like on an astrology app, like there's an app CoStar, I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
I've heard of it a few times,
Okay.
yeah. People have mentioned that, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And how do you spell that?
CO dash star.
Dash star.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean I can pull it up right now, honestly.
Okay.
But yeah, it pretty much like it's I take what I want from it really, because it gives you like a daily like kind of like motto of like what's gonna happen, or like
by the day it has.
by the day. Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be like something like. Like don't like an easy one would be just like don't close yourself off or something like that. But it's just like a lot of it is also what I notice is like kind of like vague stuff. Like it can go either way that then I can take and I will like kind of make the best out of. And so that's why I kind of think that it's like even like some of it is like just kind of counterintuitive and stupid in some ways, but I think it's honestly like not the worst way to go, because it kind of gives you like these like prompts or like these like potential like paths, and then you choose like how you are gonna make whatever out of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a way to help you in your life.
Yeah.
In some way, giving you prompts to, to go about in your day in a positive way.
Yeah.
Kind of motivation, that type thing.
Yeah, and like, and again, like to follow your intuition. So it's like a question of intuition every time. It's like, yeah. So
Okay.
that like positive feeling, or that okay, because of this, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Result comes out of asking your intuition, like based on this prompt. So.
Okay.
Yeah, even if there's like kind of, so yeah, I kind of take parts from the app, and take what's helpful. Yeah.
Okay. So if people get this app and they are prompted to use their intuition to go about their day in a more positive way, if more people did that and they became, more behaving more positively in their day, is this good evidence that astrology is true? That the reason for their positive behavior is because of all the star stuff and the energy, and when you're born, the cause of that good behavior? Is that behavior good evidence? What I'm hearing you say is that the CoStar app helps people behave better?
Yeah.
Is that good evidence that astrology is true?
$1 stickers.
Probably not.
Okay.
You're like, oh.
All right. Because I really want to know if it's true.
Yeah.
And maybe we can ask the broad question, how confident are you that it's true right now? If all the way to the right is absolutely confident, or not sure, or absolute false, where's your current confidence about it?
So.
You have a scale.
Oh, you want me to like do the scale?
Yeah.
How confident am I?
Yeah.
I'm going like this right now.
You're like wavering.
But that's good. That's good.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, so there's definitely this like feedback aspect of just like when it's written down as astrology, then like this is how it is. Then it's going to become the reality of how it is. But how true is what's written down is I'm less confident right now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so another thing astrology does for us is helps us behave better in the world.
Right.
What are some what's the second best way besides using CoStar to act better in the world?
Go read books. Go to school.
Okay, all right. So we're on that path as well.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be at risk of not behaving in a bad way if we don't potentially rely on astrology anymore to do it.
Well, it's like, for me, I mean, like kind of this like spirituality thing is like, like journaling and like meditation and like kind of asking yourself how you feel and like what you think and clarifying your ideas. So that like the actions you take are more directly from yourself, and you're not kind of just like going with the flow of everything. I think that's what helps me to do.
Yeah, so if you have like a journaling app that asks you kind of similar questions to just journal about a question.
Yeah.
It's not making any claims about how you came about through stars and energy and stuff.
Yeah.
That's another good way to figure out what you should be doing in your day and your
For
life.
sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Alrighty. So at this point, what is the best evidence for astrology, or reason to think it's true?
I would say.
Are there any at this point?
Yeah, the only thing would be this intuition and like evidence of a lot of like artists who claim, or artists and athletes and kind of a lot of people who claim to have followed their intuition to get where they are. I think that's definitely evidence of like, following your gut and where that takes you.
Is that an appeal to popularity? Like a lot of the high prestige, high status people use it, and does that give it weight that it's true? A lot of people we look up to use it, I wonder.
So
is that the reason I'm hearing? That because a lot of important people use it, is that good reason to think it's true?
That's a good point.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah, like why are they using it?
Right.
What is their evidence that?
Right. I mean, if you have like a bunch of people who are all following this, and then certain people make it, and then they claim to have used this, then obviously this is going to be like the
Okay.
inflated data.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we could keep going talking about the reasons and potential reasons against it, or figuring out how we could test it. I'm going to be here 2 more Wednesdays this year, and I'd love to keep continuing to talk about it. And I like to offer whoever I talk to one of these little puzzle pieces that are like little stress ball things, if you want to remember the conversation that way.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, one of those.
Ooh.
Pick a color.
Yeah, let me work on my debating skills a little bit. I just sat down for fun, but
yeah, it's not a debate. It's all about you and your reasons. I want to hear you out.
Yeah.
This is fun though.
This was fun. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hope to see you again. Thanks. Cool.